Where are you watching this from right now? It's high. Bon Mube in the morning here in Nashville, and I can't sleep. Drop your city and the time in the comments below. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of these incredible true stories. And hey, a like goes a long way in helping others find this channel. Now, let me tell you what happened to me 3 weeks before Christmas last year. My name is Walter, and I'm 68 years old. I built Henderson Furniture Manufacturing from nothing. Started in my garage in Mukngin with a single table saw and a dream. 42 years later, we're the largest custom furniture supplier in the Southeast. 3 factories, 230 employees, and contracts with some of the biggest hotel chains in the country. But this story isn't about business success. This story is about the night my late wife saved my life from beyond the grave. Margaret passed away 4 years ago. Breast cancer. We fought it together for 18 months, but in the end, the disease won. 51 years of marriage, 3 children. And then suddenly I was alone in a house that felt too big, too quiet, too empty. My children stepped up after she died. My oldest, Richard, he's 49 now, took over as CEO of the company. My daughter Patricia, 46, lives in Atlanta with her husband and 2 kids. And my youngest Thomas, 43, well, Thomas has always been the dreamer of the family. He runs an art gallery downtown that I helped him fund about 8 years ago. I thought I knew my children. I thought I understood their hearts, their motivations, their love for me and for each other. But I learned something terrible last December. Sometimes the people you trust the most are the ones you should fear. It started with a dream. December 3rd. I remember because it was Margaret's birthday. She would have been 70. I'd spent the day visiting her grave, talking to her headstone like I always do, telling her about the grandchildren, about the business, about how much I still missed her after all this time. That night, I fell asleep early, exhausted from the emotional weight of the day. And that's when Margaret came to me. Now, I'm not a superstitious man. I'm a Presbyterian, been going to the same church for 40 years. I believe in God, I believe in heaven, but I've never been one for ghost stories or psychic nonsense. But this dream was different. This dream was real. Margaret was standing in our kitchen, not the kitchen as it is now, but the kitchen from our old house, the one we lived in when the kids were small. She was wearing that blue dress she loved, the one with the white flowers. Her hair was dark again, no gray, and she looked young and healthy and beautiful. "Walter," she said, and I swear I could smell her perfume, that lavender scent she always wore. "Maggie," I whispered, "I miss you so much." She smiled, but it was sad. "I know, sweetheart, I know, but listen to me carefully. This is important." "What is it?" She took my hands in hers. They were warm. I could feel the texture of her skin, the slight roughness of her palms from all those years of gardening. "The watch?" she said. "The watch Richard is going to give you for Christmas. Don't wear it, Walter. Promise me you won't wear it." "What? What watch? What are you talking about? Promise me." Her grip tightened. "Don't put it on your wrist. Don't even touch it with your bare hands. Do you understand?" "Maggie, I don't understand. Why would Richard give me a watch? What's wrong with it?" But she was fading. The kitchen was dissolving around us, turning gray and misty. "Remember what I told you," she called out. "The watch. Don't wear the watch. I love you, Walter. I've always loved you." And then I woke up. I sat up in bed, my heart pounding, sweat soaking through my pajamas. The clock on my nightstand said muy bye, a.m. The house was silent, dark, but I could still smell lavender. For a long moment I just sat there, trying to catch my breath, trying to make sense of what had just happened. It was just a dream, I told myself. A vivid dream brought on by grief and the emotional day I'd had. Margaret was gone. She wasn't sending me messages from beyond the grave. That wasn't how the world worked. But I couldn't shake the feeling, the intensity of it, the realness, and her words kept echoing in my mind. The watch. Don't wear the watch. I tried to go back to sleep, but it was impossible. I got up, made myself some tea, and sat in the living room until the sun came up. By morning, I'd almost convinced myself it was nothing. Just a strange dream. Nothing more. 3 weeks passed. Life went on. I did my usual routine. Morning walks, breakfast at the diner with my friends, afternoons at the office, reviewing quarterly reports, evenings watching the news. Normal, ordinary, safe. December 23rd. 2 days before Christmas. Richard came over that evening. He said he wanted to give me my Christmas present early because he and his wife were flying to Aspen the next morning for a ski trip with her family. They wouldn't be back until New Year's. I wanted you to have this before I left, he said, pulling a beautifully wrapped box from his coat pocket. It's special, Dad. Really special. I looked at the box. It was small, watch-sized. My blood went cold. Go on. Open it, Richard urged. He was smiling, but there was something in his eyes. Something I'd never noticed before. An eagerness that seemed almost hungry. With trembling hands, I unwrapped the box. Inside, nestled in black velvet, was a watch. A Rolex Submariner, gold and steel, beautiful, probably worth $20,000 or $30,000. Richard, this is too much. I can't accept this. Nonsense. You deserve it, Dad. After everything you've built, everything you've done for this family. Put it on. Let me see how it looks on you. I stared at the watch. Margaret's words screamed in my head. Don't wear it, Walter. Don't even touch it with your bare hands. I'd rather wait until Christmas, I said, closing the box. Open it properly, you know, with everyone there. Richard's smile flickered, just for a second, but I saw it. A flash of something that looked almost like frustration, maybe even anger. Dad, come on. I want to see your reaction. Just try it on real quick. No, I'd rather wait. But thank you, son. It's beautiful. Truly. Richard stared at me for a long moment. Then he laughed, though it sounded forced. All right. Suit yourself, but you have to promise me you'll wear it to the New Year's party at the country club. Show it off a little. I promise. I lied. After he left, I sat in my chair for a long time, looking at that box. My hands were shaking. My mind was racing. What was wrong with me? Why was I letting a dream control my actions? This was Richard, my firstborn son. The boy I'd coached in Little League, the young man I'd put through college, the adult I'd entrusted with my life's work. He wouldn't hurt me. He couldn't. Could he? The next morning, Christmas Eve, I did something I'm not proud of. I called my old friend Benny Morrison. Benny's a retired detective, spent 30 years with the Nashville Police Department. We've been fishing buddies for 2 decades. I trust him with my life. Benny, I need a favor. A strange one. What's going on, Walt? You sound spooked. I told him about the dream, about the watch, about my unease. When I finished, there was a long silence on the other end of the line. You want me to have the watch tested, Benny said. It wasn't a question. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy as hell. But I've seen a lot of crazy things in my career, Walt. And I've learned to trust my gut. You're not a paranoid man. If something feels wrong to you, maybe something is wrong. He came over that afternoon. I watched him put on latex gloves before he touched the box. He examined the watch carefully, turning it over, studying the clasp, the face, the band. Rolex Submariner, he said. Nice piece. But look here. He pointed to the back of the watch face. See this tiny gap? That shouldn't be there. The back panel looks like it's been modified. Opened and resealed. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? Could be nothing. Could be something. I know a guy at the crime lab owes me a favor. Let me take this in. Have him look at it. Keep this quiet for now. I nodded. I couldn't speak. Benny left with the watch. I spent Christmas Eve alone, unable to eat, unable to focus on anything. The house was decorated with lights and a tree, but I felt like I was living in a nightmare. I kept telling myself there was an innocent explanation. Maybe Richard had the watch customized somehow. Maybe he'd added an engraving I couldn't see. Something harmless, something loving. But Margaret's voice wouldn't leave me alone. Don't wear it. Don't even touch it with your bare hands. The call came on December 26th, Boxing Day. I was eating leftover turkey when my phone rang. Benny's name flashed on the screen. Walt, we need to talk. In person. I'm coming over. What did you find? In person. Walt. 20 minutes later, Benny was sitting in my living room. His face was grave. He looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. The watch was modified, he said slowly. The back panel was removed, and a small compartment was created inside. In that compartment, we found a substance. What substance? Benny took a deep breath. Dimethylmercury. It's a neurotoxin, one of the deadliest poisons known to man. A few drops absorbed through the skin can kill you within months. The symptoms start slowly: tremors, difficulty speaking, memory loss. By the time you realize something's wrong, it's too late. There's no cure. The room spun. I gripped the arms of my chair to keep from falling. The compartment was designed to slowly release the toxin through microscopic pores in the metal, Benny continued. Anyone wearing that watch regularly would be dead within 3 to 4 months. And here's the thing, Walt. It would look natural, like dementia, like Parkinson's. No one would ever suspect murder. Richard, I whispered. My son. I'm sorry, Walt. I'm so goddamn sorry. I don't remember much of the next few hours. I know, I cried. I know Benny stayed with me, kept me from doing anything stupid. At some point, I called my daughter, Patricia. She drove up from Atlanta that night, and I told her everything. Her reaction was not what I expected. Dad, she said quietly, there's something you need to know. Something I should have told you months ago. What is it? Patricia couldn't meet my eyes. The company's in trouble, serious trouble. Richard's been hiding it from you, but we're hemorrhaging money. Bad investments, failed contracts, a lawsuit I don't think you know about. The company's about 6 months from bankruptcy. What? That's impossible. The quarterly reports show. The reports are fake, Dad. Richard's been cooking the books for over a year. I found out by accident back in September. I confronted him, and he begged me not to tell you. Said he was working on a solution. Said he'd fix everything. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want to hurt you. Because I thought he'd figure it out. Because, she started crying. Because he's my brother, Dad. I didn't want to believe he could do something like this. And the watch? Patricia wiped her eyes. Your will leaves everything to us equally, but there's a clause. You know that. If you're incapacitated due to mental illness, Richard, as CEO, gains power of attorney over the company assets. He could liquidate everything, pay off the debts, keep himself out of prison. He was going to make it look like I had dementia, I said. Watch me deteriorate, then take control of everything I built. I think so. Yes, my own son. The boy I had raised, loved, sacrificed for. He was going to murder me for money. The investigation moved quickly after that. Benny called in favors, kept things quiet while the evidence was gathered. They found the receipt for the toxin, purchased through a shell company Richard had set up. They found emails between Richard and a chemist in Mexico who'd done the modification on the watch. They found the falsified financial records, the hidden debts, the desperate measures of a man who'd run out of options. Richard was arrested on January 3rd. I wasn't there. I couldn't be. Patricia told me later that he didn't resist. He just sat down on his front lawn and put his head in his hands and cried like a child. The trial was last month. Richard pleaded guilty to attempted murder and fraud. He's facing 15 to 25 years. His wife filed for divorce. His children, my grandchildren, they don't understand. They just know their father is going to prison and their grandfather is the reason why. I testified at the sentencing hearing, not for the prosecution, for the defense. I asked the judge for leniency. I told her about the boy Richard used to be, the man he could have been, the pressures that had broken him. I don't know if it made a difference. People ask me if I hate my son. I don't. I can't. He's still my child. He's still the baby Margaret placed in my arms 69 years ago, squalling and red-faced and perfect. That boy is still in there somewhere, buried under decades of pressure and expectation and fear. But I also know I can never trust him again. I can never be in a room with him without wondering what he's thinking, what he's planning. That part of our relationship is dead, murdered, just like he tried to murder me. The company survived. Patricia took over as interim CEO. She's doing a good job. Better than Richard ever did, honestly. We've restructured, paid down the debts, started rebuilding. It'll take years to fully recover, but we'll make it. Thomas, my youngest. He's been my rock through all of this. He comes over every Sunday for dinner now. We don't talk about Richard much. We talk about art, about life, about Margaret. He helps me tend her grave. He reminds me that not everyone I love will betray me. But the person I think about most is Margaret. That dream saved my life. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't pretend to understand the mechanics of the universe or the nature of the afterlife. But I know what I experienced. I know my wife came to me when I needed her most. I know she protected me even from beyond death. Last week, I visited her grave on what would have been our 55th wedding anniversary. I sat on the little bench I'd had installed next to her headstone, and I talked to her for hours. I told her about the trial, about Patricia, about the grandchildren, about how much I still love her and miss her every single day. And then I felt it, a warmth on my shoulder, like a hand resting there. And I could have sworn I heard her voice, soft and gentle, carried on the wind. I'll always protect you, Walter. Always. I'm telling you this story for a reason. If you have someone you've lost, someone who loved you with their whole heart, don't dismiss the signs they send you. Don't ignore the dreams, the feelings, the inexplicable certainties. The dead still watch over us. They still fight for us. And sometimes their love is the only thing that stands between us and the darkness. To everyone watching, thank you for listening to my story. If you've had a similar experience, a dream that warned you, a sign from someone you've lost, share it in the comments below. You never know who might need to hear it. And Margaret, if you're listening, if you're watching over me still, thank you. Thank you for 41 years of marriage. Thank you for our children, even the one who broke my heart. Thank you for saving my life. I love you. I'll see you again someday. But not yet. Thanks to you. Not yet. If this story touched you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. These stories matter. Your stories matter. This is Walter Henderson, signing off from Nashville. Stay safe out there. Trust the people you love. But maybe, just maybe, trust the dead a little more.